Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to be discussing the XRP and crypto markets and touch a little bit on the prophetic relating to that and the stock market. I'm going to be sharing some things that I think is relevant to the Christian Wealth Transfer community and discuss the preparation for when both the crypto and the stock market reach their tops. Now, first of all, I'm not a financial advisor. And if you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description and the comment section. Now, XRP is currently sitting at $3.19. As you guys know, several days ago, officially, they claim that the case was dropped, but Judge Torres still has to give the final say-so in all of this. So who knows what she's going to say, but the big news that came out several days ago about the XRP case being dropped and all this stuff on both sides, it pushed up XRP to about $3.32, depending on which platform you're on. And then it came crashing back down to about $3.15, and now it's sitting at $3.19. So there wasn't this big boom. There wasn't this big parade, as some people had said that it was going to happen in a certain way. Some people said that XRP was going to double and all this stuff. Now, XRP is still a buying opportunity. Right? We haven't heard about the ETFs and all that stuff, but you know what? This money is coming from the hedge funds, the market makers, the big dogs, and those that control a lot of the money from retail stock traders and investors. Right? A lot of these platforms have opened up to cryptocurrency. They're not opening up to meme coins. They're opening up to the top cryptocurrencies. That's one of the reasons why I believe a lot of people are going to be disappointed that their meme coins are not going up as they thought they were. And I'm not talking about Lunic or Shiba Inu, right? There's going to be a lot of coins that you're going to get out of that are prophetic because they were only meant to be prophetic for the short term. And I believe that this crypto winter is going to kill off a lot of meme coins and a lot of projects that aren't going anywhere. Now, when it comes to this institutional money, President Trump just announced that pension funds, right, can include cryptocurrency. Right? That's huge. Now, do you think these pension funds are going to be investing into some of these meme coins? Right? I'm talking about a lot of these meme coins that are low market cap, that whether they're prophetic or not, or they have a great community backing, doesn't mean that those coins are going to take off. Now, Bitcoin is currently sitting at 118,793. Ethereum is 4,200, Solana 181, BNB at over 800, Dogecoin 23 cents, Tron 34 cents. Now, you know, Tron just launched their official stock with Justin Sun. They did a reverse merger with a toy company, and they're going to be getting into crypto. You guys already know that they have partnerships and ownerships in platforms and so on. So I expect not only the stock, but also the cryptocurrency price to continue to go up. Cardano sitting at 80 cents, Chainlink at $21.99, HBAR 25 cents, Kronos at 16 cents. So some of these coins I've discussed heavily over the last 4 years, and so has the rest of the crypto community. So we've just been stacking and stacking and stacking, swing trading here and there, whatever. So what is the next step for XRP in the cryptocurrency markets? Well, it's the approval of all the different ETFs and all the other things that are going to make it easier for crypto to expand, right? But I want to also give a warning about this because we heard a lot of prophetic words and predictions about what would happen when Bitcoin ETFs would be approved and the length of time it took for things to really get going. So I want to compare this to what is coming down the road in the future. So the market reaction timeline. Immediately upon approval, Bitcoin's price was around 46,000 and actually dipped below 40,000 within a few weeks following the ETF launch. However, by March 2024, Bitcoin had rebounded sharply, surpassing 73,000, setting new all-time highs on strong ETF inflows ahead of the May halving event. How long did it take to get going after approval? From the ETF approval on January the 10th, to the first pronounced price rally in March, it took roughly 8 to 10 weeks. During that time period, the initial launch and dip gave way to a robust surge, which many consider the market getting moving in earnest. maybe you guys forgot where Bitcoin was at when the ETF got approved, right? It actually went down before it went up. And so it took a couple months for the price to really get going and the money that's flowing in to really have an effect. And so we should be seeing the same thing with the ETFs concerning XRP and the other cryptocurrencies. Okay, so it may take some time. You actually may see a dip, but I think that with all the new rules and regulations and the openness of this government with cryptocurrency, we may not have to wait as long before the prices really get moving. But I wanted to put this out there just in case if people try to predict or prophesy things are going to explode when this happens. It may not, just based off of history. And I think this is where the bubble is going to come in when things really get ripping and moving. But I have most of what I can staking or earning money. Right now it's opened up a lot more as far as like, Coinbase and other platforms have been doing it for a long time. So if you were outside the United States, you've had the opportunities to really stake and earn. Now in this next crypto winter, folks, so this is a lesson that you need to learn. In the next crypto winter, once everything is crashed and you got tons of crypto, you need to stake it or put it in some type of earning account. So we'll discuss that when that time comes. It'll be probably crazy and hectic around that time period, but you want to stake and try to earn on as much crypto as possible at that point. Now, some of the things I want to discuss relating to both the crypto and the stock market is, Trump has all these peace deals going on, right? And the main ones is the Russia and the Ukraine, and then we have Israel, and then we've had some actual peace deals of some other Eastern Europe countries. We've had, even Africa. But some of the main things that people are looking at is the tariffs and the tariff issues. And they keep getting delayed as they try to work these things out, right? But everything that deals with a peace, we know that it's a false peace, right? Because we believe that the markets are going to crash. There's going to be black swan events that take place. And so whatever is happening now, I think, is a false peace, or we could have completely new conflicts. But as we continue to reach more peace agreements, as we continue to reach more agreements relating to tariffs, that's only going to strengthen the markets. And this is going to be related to some of my plans, what I'm looking at in the future. And I personally do not think that we are going to see in this bull run, like Shiba Inu at $13 and so on. That's going to come after we've gone through the crashes, crypto winter, and all of that. See, and that was part of my problem before, years ago, thinking that a lot of these prophecies were supposed to happen within a certain amount of time, even though there was no time frame put on these. I put my own time frame on these, and so did other people, right? So it's not fair to some of those people who did give prophecies that did not give time frames on some of these pricing points on cryptocurrencies. Another thing that I wanted to share was to be careful of AI news articles. A lot of these AI news articles might be trying to pump a meme coin that is absolutely worthless, that's not going to go anywhere in the future. I saw that recently with a YouTuber using a AI article for some meme coin or whatever, and I'm like, okay, there's too many of these AI news articles, and a lot of them are created to pump certain coins, to get you to invest in certain coins. So I just want you guys to be aware of that you don't want to be just quoting from your average news source, because a lot of these are created in order to get you to invest into certain projects. And I think we're done with a lot of these meme coin launches. I just saw another YouTuber promote a coin that you can get in, before the actual launch and get so many coins and all that. I'm not doing any of that stuff anymore. Because first of all, I've lost on a lot of that early on, and I've learned my lesson about some of those launches, right? They spend 2 months building up a project, and then it's rug pulled 2 weeks later after the launch. Now, currently the Dow Jones is sitting at 44,175, and I think, just like I said before, with the peace narrative that's going on with different countries, you have all these new laws and regulations that are changing and making it better for retail traders. And then the whole tariff issues, those are going to be resolved. It's just going to continue to push the Dow up. And I've shared with you guys that the economy has not yet caught up with the stock market. if all these companies have been laying off for the last 2 to 3 years, right? And nobody can afford to buy a lot of these products anymore. Nobody can afford to buy cars. You know, even some of the cheaper model cars and good used cars are not selling right now because people just don't have the money. In some states like California and Illinois and so on, they keep raising taxes. The economy is not doing well compared to the stock market. So I do want to share the importance, and there's going to be the links down below in the description. But I follow a number of YouTubers who know what they're talking about when it comes to the crypto and the stock market. One of those is Ron Walker, and he's saying a lot of the same things as some of the other people I listen to. Bitcoin going to 170,000 in this cycle. So down below in the description and in the comment section, I'm going to put all the YouTubers that I watch that are looking at the crypto and the stock markets, because I want you guys to be able to get an understanding without the prophetic being involved. I am seeing now people claiming that God is saying that Bitcoin is going to go to the 170,000 area before the fall. And so I'm like, okay, I do believe that some of these people are really trying to take advantage of people, and all they're doing is just listening to stock traders who are talking about the charts and stuff on YouTube, and then they're making their prophecy based off of that. And just another example, Jordan Camirand, Wake Up Now, he's saying that the markets are going to hit the 10 trillion mark, and then you're going to see the major big crash. Right? So I'm just using these two as an example because I can show you 10 examples right now. So this is leading into preparation for when the markets do reach their top and to begin to start coming down. And that's why I share with you folks about prepping, learning how to short, learning how to take advantage of the markets when they have fallen, right? Because we're going to be making money on all the way up, and then we're going to be making money on the way down. And then when we have bought what we could buy on the bottom, however you do it, whether it's options or just buying the stock or crypto straight out, we're going to be setting ourselves up to prosper greatly in scooping up all the different investments at super low prices. So when it comes to the crypto markets, and we've discussed this before, and on this channel, folks, I try to give you the most accurately prophetic voices that are out there. We have sifted through a lot of different people who claim to be prophets and that are not. Right? We've sifted through people who are just trying to pump their own channel. We sifted through just a lot of garbage, and this is where we are at right now. And so anybody who's given opposing word, look at their prophetic history. So when it comes to the crypto market top, right, we have some prophetic words from different individuals. More recently, we had one from Love is God, where he saw potentially where we should be selling when the markets are going up, right? And then the crash comes, right? The crash begins to come, right? And then we also have another prophetic word from Christopher Harris. And I think that this could be the last chance to sell when Bitcoin is at 111,000 and ETN is around $1.50. And after he saw it hit 111,000, then it began its descent, right? But it went to 109,000 first. So wherever Bitcoin is at, if Bitcoin goes up to 133,000, 135,000, 140,000, right, it's going to come back down and it's going to go to 109,000 and then flip to 111,000 and then crash. And I think that maybe at that time, everybody's thinking that cryptocurrency is going to continue to go back up. People are taking profit, right? I could easily see Bitcoin going from like 135,000 to say like 108,000, right? Because people are taking profit. Or there's like a mini black swan event that takes Bitcoin down to that price to 109,000 and it's starting to recover, it hits 111,000, and then we have another event that takes down Bitcoin. So people will say, well, Christopher Harris, he doesn't always get the prophetic right. I want to deal with that right now. Because you guys have to understand something. Christopher Harris, all he does is post his dreams, and that's it. He doesn't sit there and try to build his channel. He doesn't come on speaking in tongues and saying the Lord said and God said this is going to happen and that's going to happen by this date and that time frame. If he has a prophetic dream that gives a date and a time frame, he's just posting his dream. He doesn't act like some of the other prophets do, right? Like Robin Cunningham, he's spit out so many false prophecies, right? And he's trying to build his channel. He's always asking for donations 24/7, right? But yet he can't get anything right, right? So people want to try to compare the two, and you can't, because Christopher Harris, first of all, he's not a prophet. He hasn't been ordained as a prophet. And people need to understand the difference between a prophet and somebody who's just posting their dreams, right? He's not going on there and speaking in weird tongues. So that is the difference. The way that I view things now is that the wealth transfer for the Christian community, as far as putting these things together, is by individuals. It's not by one person. And what we try to do here, we try to sift through all that. I've made my mistakes. I've repented for those mistakes, because I want to make sure that I am fully 100% confident. Then you have Snare of Wisdom. In his prophetic dream, he saw financial Armageddon, but he was watching the candle because it was going up fast, right? And he was looking for the opportunity to sell. So maybe all of this together is what is going to happen. This is the best prophetic words that we have. This is the most accurate that we currently have right now. And you guys have to remember, Christopher Harris is the number one reason why you guys are placing low buy limit orders anyway. He was the first to even discuss this about Bitcoin crashing and taking advantage of that. So if you don't believe in Christopher Harris, then you need to sell off everything and don't believe anything that anybody else is telling you, because a lot of the prophecies that other people are prophesying about originated with Christopher Harris. Right? So stop knocking the man because he posts his dreams. He's not out here like a lot of these other people. All right. If I just sat here and just post all of my dreams, doesn't mean that I'm saying I'm a prophet. It doesn't mean that I'm saying this is from the Lord. He believes that some of these dreams are from the Lord, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's always the case. And here in this community, we don't go out and confirm certain things. Like people talk about, well, he had the dream about XRP crashing because of the SEC case. Right? Crashing down to zero. Nobody else confirmed it. And I don't expect every single dream from a dreamer to be 100% accurate either. Right? That's just the nature of dreams itself. But if you come on here saying the Lord said, God said, this and that, blah, 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 using Jesus' name, using the Holy Spirit name, that's a completely different story. So what we need to do when it comes to the crypto markets is prepare for the crash. So what I'm trying to do here is try to stay one step ahead. And see, this is what's going to happen with a lot of people. I'm telling you guys to learn how to short the markets now. You don't have to use leverage to short the markets. There are ways to do it, and I have a list down below in the description and in the comment section on learning how to do those things. Right? So here is a basic overall plan. Right? Now, I'm expecting the Dow to at least reach 50,000. But what I'm trying to do is prepare you that when the Dow actually goes up, that you're going to be able to take advantage of it crashing down. There are many prophetic words about the stock market. And the main one, which relates to the Dinar revaluation, is the Clement. Because Clement said that the Dinar revaluation will cause the Dow to go to 20,000. All right, so whatever you invest on the very bottom, just know that when the Dinar revaluation happens, it's going to shoot back up to 20,000, and then probably over the next couple of years take off from there. But what I'm trying to share with you guys is when the Dow reaches its top, right, because of all the great things that are happening with the stock market, not necessarily the economy, you know, the false peace, all the rules and regulations that are changing for retail, right, making it easier for not just retail, but hedge funds and everybody else to make money. So the way that I'm looking at things is that at some point, the Dow will be between 50 and 60,000. There's going to be several black swan events that take place that bring down the stock market. Now, when you relate that to the crypto markets and the stock market, the companies are merging with each other. Like when you got BlackRock heavily invested in crypto, heavily invested in the stock market. Right? So I believe that the stock market and the crypto markets will probably crash around the same time. And there's going to come a time when I'm putting in my final Dinar order, which could be around the 30,000 mark. If I see the Dow coming down from 50 to 30,000, I know that it's time. If you can even buy the dinar at that time. I'm hoping that the dinar will be available digitally, so I don't have to worry about buying the paper dinar anymore. But if they were ever to cut off the dinar from buying the dinar, you're going to see the price of dinar like online, like skyrocket. This part remains to be seen because I don't know what's going to happen with the dinar. If I can buy it digitally, which I'm hoping in the future, I won't need to worry about buying the paper. So going back to shorting the Dow, right? If the Dow says between 50 and 60,000, it's reaching its top, right? Then that's, maybe even before then, I'll be putting in put options, right? Investing in short ETFs, right? And maybe in certain commodities that are going to skyrocket when the Dow begins to crash. So between the 30 and 15K mark for the Dow is when I'll be taking profits on shorts. I can use that money then now to set more low buy limit orders, call options, be able the ability to buy more stocks and so on. Right? We have some prophetic words that we are going to see the Dow between 4,000 and 6,000. Right? That is the very, very bottom of the Dow. Right? Stocks are super cheap, and that's why I say it's important to learn how to short, and not only that, take advantage of options, right? You may not have as much money. There are some people right now that just got into the wealth transfer movement several months ago. Right? So they need to learn how to do this because you may not have the money to buy, 10,000 stocks or 10,000 shares of a particular cryptocurrency, right? So you want to be able to take advantage of call options and puts, and you need to learn how to do that. Right? And if the dinar revaluation still hasn't occurred and I can still buy it under 10,000, then guess what? That would be my final order. Folks, this is how you prepare for the future. Here on this channel, I'm trying to stay one step ahead. So since the wealth transfer community is mostly buyers and holders, I'm trying to formulate this plan, what I believe God has given me, so that you guys can prosper off of this without so much learning how to always swing trade everything, right? Because some people have gotten wrecked recently trying to swing trade, and you've never swung trade before. So people are swing trading off of a prophetic word. That is not wisdom at all whatsoever. And some people got burned by it, just like I have in the past. Just because somebody is speaking in tongues and they say it's from the Lord doesn't mean it's from the Lord. And you don't need to be swing trading off of prophetic words. All right, folks, so this is where we are at right now. And we still have a lot of room for the markets to move, the stock and the crypto market. I just want people to be prepared and to educate themselves about the markets and to follow people without having the prophetic thrown in there, right? So then that way you're not confused. When I listen to people, I don't want the influence of the prophetic. I want to know what the charts say. And I want to know some of the different opinions on what the charts are saying, right? And somebody who knows how to both trade the stock and the crypto markets, and they can tell you about the bond market and all the other different markets, those are the best guys to listen to because they know how to trade all of the markets, not just the crypto market, right? Because both the stock and crypto market are hand in hand now. So when it comes to the prophetic, it's either going to happen or it's not, folks. So that's all that I have for this today. I thank you guys for listening. God bless.